why do you feel that the relationships and the camaraderie amongst those styles might be different than other more traditional styles? Not,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not saying better or worse, just
Yeah, no,
different.
no, I get it. I understand. No, totally.
Why do you feel that it's different?
So apart from everything we said before about the grappling, the touch, the human touch, I think that has to do a lot also, Caleb, with the Gracie family. Totally. Because the Gracie family, the jiu-jitsu that I practice and you practice, of course, was born in India, and then went to China, and then Japan, and then Jigoro Kano to Count Koma, and then the Gracies, and then other people. And now the story is vast, it's changing all the time. But one thing is, it's a fact. The Gracie family was the family that made all this podcast and the industry the way it is. That's a fact. Nobody can never contest that. Okay. The Gracie family, me being friends and dealing and since I was a kid, being close friends and learn from them and still talk to I talk to a Gracie family member every single day in WhatsApp. Like I was just talking to my master Carlos Gracie Jr. like a minute ago through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I know that the way that they they act, they live, they conduct their business is very family oriented. It's very kind of like, let's get together and conquer the world. It's kind of like, let's eat this way because it's better. Everybody follows. It's like, man, when you go there, refuse to quit, never quit. Let's go, like that kind of thing. Man, like the Gracie family put a culture in place. We are all we all derive from their culture. It's a huge family, and a lot of times, like people don't agree with certain things they say they do, but the reality is that they were pivotal to the cultural movement. I'm not even gonna say movement or lifestyle, to the cultural movement that we're seeing right now all over the world. Okay, look at what the IBJJF did. They're all over the world. Look what like the first like Vale Tudo MMA fights, there were like a more broadcasted, like never forgetting what they did in Brazil, but what's going on in Brazil nobody knew. But when Royce did what he did in the UFC, then Hickson did in Japan, and then Hanzo did also in America and Japan, and then Master Carlos Gracie Jr. what he did with the Federation, man, somehow it's all connected to the Gracies. What Rorion Gracie did launching the UFC too. A lot of people forgot he invented the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even though he's not one of the owners anymore. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to do also with the way the Gracies are. The Gracies are very passionate people. When they're with them, they're your family. They put sleep in them on your house. They give you food. They give the shirt out of your back. But if you're their enemy, it's bad news. You know what I mean? So I think it's all we're all like that in a certain sense. We got our cultures, we got our family raisings and all that, but we all take a little bit of that. Everybody that does jiu-jitsu nowadays take a little bit of that. And I think that's actually the icing on the cake of everything we're talking about today.
And with people, I think, like you said, you mentioned something earlier of like people, they see 5 minutes and not further. And I
Yes.
feel like that what you're talking about with the Gracie family and what they built and created in that culture, that brings up an interesting point of people forget how valuable their competition is. I
Yeah.
mean, I know when I became a fighter as a teenager, my motivations were not ideas of grandeur of changing the world through inspiration. It was like, I'm going to show everybody how tough I am. Like,
Yeah, but that's all part
17
of the
years old.
process. Yeah, brother, this is all part of evolution. You are an example of what happened to pretty much almost everybody. It's evolution. But if you don't evolve, that's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's my point here. We're talking about organizations really quick. Like, man, there are great organizations in every sport, and jiu-jitsu is no different. Okay. But man, when I see people bashing on the IBJJF, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. No organization is perfect. But they go, oh, they're just about the money. They're a faceless organization. Brother, for years and years, I saw, nobody told me, I was there. I saw the CBJJ in Brazil that was like the mother of IBJJF.
Yep.
The CBJJ was inside Master Carlos Gracie Jr.'s living room on a 2-bedroom house. That family, Master Carlos Gracie Jr. family, for easily 7 years, had no privacy whatsoever. It was him, his wife, his kids, cousins, because the Gracies always bring people to live with them, you know, one of those things. And man, like Marcelo Siriema, the head guy of the IBJJF right now, working 9 to 5 at least in his living room, in Master Carlos' living room. There was always people there. There wasn't internet. People had to bring the registration of the tournaments in papers. And with the money, they had to count. They had to write down everything on paper. There was no internet. There was no brackets online. Nothing. Zero. Everybody had to go to the bank and come back. And then weigh-ins in his house. People got in fights. I saw it. Fist fight, inside his living room.
Yeah.
And then people forget about that. Oh, it's a faceless organization. People don't see what they did back there, man, to get in this.
It's that typical overnight success that was like 20 years in the making.
Exactly. People never remember that. Like, even for us, they see where you at. They don't see the struggles before. So say that they are a faceless organization. No, man. They did what you would never do. You would never put people on your living room like all day with your family there, with your kid, with your daughter there, you know. And these guys did it because nobody told me. Like I said, I saw it with my own eyes. I lived it. And now people are going to come and throw rocks. Yeah, it's not perfect, man. So it's not all the other organizations. And look, if you hate them, fine. Do better. Do better.
I love that. I say that all the time.
Yeah, do better.
Oh,
don't hate them. Do better. Do better. And if you do better, the market will follow you. But if the market is following them, if they're making millions, that's a point. It's not because they never bashed on any other organization. Did you see like the IBJJF talking crap about other organizations? They never did that. Master Carlos actually told me that one time. Said, look, when people are talking all kinds of crap about Gracie Barra and about IBJJF, he always stays quiet. He stays quiet. He said, look, the market is open. If they want to do better than mine, let them do it. But I'm not going to reply back. I'm not going to talk back. The market is open. They're all welcome to try to do better than us. And I'm going to keep doing my thing. You know, that's the thing. You know what I mean? So I learned that from him a lot, the vision from Master Carlos, Master Carlos Gracie Jr. He's very quiet, reserved. He doesn't do interviews, as everybody knows. He's like a very kind of low-profile guy. He doesn't like to be in the limelight. When he's like in public events, he got kind of in a way like watching the matches and quiet. And if people come, he treats well, but he's not like, he doesn't want to be like, no, he was never like that. But man, like his vision is amazing that he saw everything that is happening right now before, back in the day.
Yeah. And that's the thing that like, you know, when you do something successful, if you don't have the attacks and the criticism, then you have not made an impact.